Priscilla, my co-host, and together we're going to be giving you informative, educative, and entertaining program tonight. You're welcome again. Pris, how was your week?
Good evening, everyone. Very well, thank you. Yes, I am. How are you?
From face to...
It is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes.
Yeah, it is very marvelous. Looking good. How was your week?
Good, good, very good.
That's good to hear. How was a little bit, let's not say down, but I had to start this thing over again and all that. So I'm still taking medication right now. So I wouldn't say it was very good.
I hope there's a part of the year we get you off medication.
No, I don't normally do that.
Okay.
I remember the last time the doctor was telling me to take another dose of anti-malaria, which I avoided. And so when I started feeling it again, my mind went back to, if you had taken the second dose at that time, this wouldn't happen. So I had to start it anyways, you know. So it's all good. Thank you again for joining us. We're not going to waste time. We're going to go straight to our first segment. And when we come back, we go straight into our main topic for tonight. And we want you to join us. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're welcome back to the show. I'm sure you all saw the video that just played. I got flowers today. We've talked about it in the studio already. You saw the relationship. From afar, it looked like a beautiful relationship. He gave her flowers, but it was after an offense. And he abused her. And then the second time, after abusing her the second time, gave her flowers as well. And then the third time, and what happened? She got a final flower at the graveyard. And this is the same thing we have been talking about. So with this, I'm going to introduce our topic for tonight. It is, we've tagged it, emotional or physical abuse. Is apology enough? At what point do you say enough is enough? Or is simply saying, I'm sorry, all that is required? Now, I'm going to begin this segment, this Livebox segment, with a story. Unfortunately, I wanted to read the letter, but I couldn't lay hold of the letter. So I'm going to begin it. I'm just going to paraphrase briefly for us to see. There was a young lady. It was a letter written by a young lady early this year. Britain. She was outside. She was in London. She was in a relationship. And it was in a very abusive, long relationship. So at some point, she told herself enough was enough. So she left the relationship and moved back to her hometown outside London. And she decided to get a job. So she went for a job interview. And on the panel was the CEO of the company. And while she was going through the interview, they were attacking her verbally. You know, one of the new strategies companies employ is, okay, let's see if this person will crack under pressure. So they try to attack you or insult you and all that to see how you're going to behave, whether if they put you in a sensitive position with client, you know. So what we're saying in essence is that this lady went through the interview, and after the interview, before the end of the interview, she eventually broke down. She broke down. So eventually she left after the interview was over, and then they called her a day or two or so later to tell her that, to inform her that she got the job. And she was wondering after breaking down and all that, how can she get the job? So send her a mail stating that she got the job. And guess what? She wrote a beautiful letter to her employer, thanking the HR person, manager, for the job, and the CEO, calling him by his name, Mr. So and so, thanking him for the job. But she now said that, you know what you did not realize is that she was coming from somewhere, from an abusive relationship that it took her everything she had to break herself free from. And then she was going to get a job, and you guys attacked her again, and she told herself, for no amount of money you're going to pay her will make her take that job, because she has said no to abuse in whatever form it will come, or it was coming. Now, with this, I want to open the phone lines. You know, I want to open the phone lines. I want you to join us as soon as we begin this conversation. We want to hear what you have to say. But Pris, talking about the story, the video and the story I just mentioned, what do you think about it? At what point does the abused say it is enough, or is it that the abuser has a certain influence that the abused cannot break off from? What do you think? starting from the video and then the story I highlighted now.
You know, this is not an answer that you can give on someone's behalf.
True.
It's an answer that you must give for yourself.
Yes, talking from your own perspective.
So, enough becomes enough when the person in the relationship feels that it is enough. That's the way I see it. Until nobody can answer that question for you. So you would see people around the abused saying things like, get out of it. What are you still doing there? I don't know what you're still doing there. Either to the man or the woman, you know, who is being abused. What's she still doing in your house? Take her out of your house. If you're going through all of this kind of abuse and all of that, you know, people just say all that because they are not emotionally invested into the relationship. It is until the person who is being abused says it is enough.
Okay, let's talk about about what you just mentioned now. Some people are in abusive relationship as we speak. Some people are watching us right now and they're wondering, let me see if there's something that can help me in this relationship. I know people are quick to judge. You mentioned something just now that until the person who is inside the relationship says it is enough. Now, people from outside may look at you and say, you're dumb. What are you still doing with him? Or this or that. And you said it's because they're not emotionally invested. Now, let's look at the pointers. I know that professionals have come out to say that when you see someone in an abusive relationship, do not be quick to judge them. Do not be quick to call them names and think they don't know what they're doing or they're not smart people. Some of them may have financial constraints. Maybe they need money to be able to establish themselves, or maybe they need accommodation to be able to move out and set themselves up. Or it may be a life-threatening situation that they're like, if they should move at that time, may not be the right timing. If they should move, maybe the person is going to like attack them and all that. There's so many variables. You know, someone said that human behavior is so complex that you cannot use A to judge B or say this is what C will do, or this is what C should do. So on and on like that. But I want us to also look at it from the perspective of the abuser, for instance. It comes to you with flowers like we saw. It comes after each abuse, it comes with flowers, or let's take her to a posh restaurant. Or maybe if it's jewelry she likes, buys her jewelry and say, okay, you know what? You know, you deserve it and all that. And she takes it like, oh, it's really caring. Maybe it's just a one-off thing. And then unknown to the abused, that it could be manipulation. You know, when someone is using their sorry, so to say, to manipulate the abused, to make them think that they are really sorry. What do you say about that?
I don't even know where to start from.
From the perspective of the abuser now.
From the perspective of the abuser,
yeah,
we usually would say that hurting people hurt other people. Not because they intend to hurt other people, but because they're carrying their own soul. And we say that a lot of people are bleeding on the people that did not cut them. So when you are looking for a way of escape, you know, you're trying to run away from the pain. And that's about the way they know how to respond to the pain that they feel. So for people who are abusers, trust me when I tell you that they feel justified for their behavior. They feel justified for, you know, their behavior in the sense that a lot of them do not say that it's because I am hurting, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. What they say is, you made me do this to you.
Exactly.
So there is no place of personal responsibility as to, it is because I am unable to control my emotions, that is why I get to this point. So in the apology, you would hear things like, you made me do this. Why did you get me so angry? Look at what you made me do to you.
That's a very common line in abusive relationship. If you're just joining us, this is My Thought, and we're talking about abuse. At what point do you say enough is enough? What is sorry enough? Is apology enough? You can join us on our social media platforms by sending your tweets or on Instagram, sending your DMs to us. You can join the conversation by calling also. You see a number scrolling on the screen. Please do call and join the conversation. If you are in an abusive relationship and you want to share your story or you need help, please do call in and let us know what kind of advice, we can all gain from the different inputs that come in today. Okay, so from what you say, I understand, I've heard rather, that from experts now, that anger management, so the abuser will always say that, oh, you made me do this, because they don't want to take responsibility. Because they are also hurting, maybe because of something that has happened in their own life at some point or the other, maybe as children or whatever. And so because of that, they become an abuser and they're hurting other people.
The most difficult thing to do for an average human being is to introspect.
Retrospect.
Is to introspect.
Yeah, search yourself.
To look inwards. It's a problem. Let's not even look at abuse now. Let's look at the average human behavior. You see, for any progressively minded person, if you keep having some hitches here and there, you would find out that the person oftentimes will say, people don't like me. People don't understand me. No, that's not it.
They're not actually
it's not that people don't understand you. People respond to us based on the vibe that they get from us. So it's a different thing when one person feels one way about you. We talk about different aspects of self. But when you're observing that quite a number of people are responding to you in a particular manner, then it's very important for you to introspect. And you see, we would always teach people that the beginning of personal development or healing is when you can identify that you're in pain.
That's the first step.
That's the first step.
As I was saying earlier, that anger management, a lot of people have said, just to corroborate what you just said, that if you claim that it's because the abuser has anger problem, that is why, or the other person is the trigger, or is doing triggers.
It's also very common for us to label other people as having anger problems. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, you're welcome.
We can hear you. Good evening.
Thank you. My name is Fadikemi and I'm calling from Oshodi.
Please, can you speak a little louder?
My name is Fadikemi.
Fadikemi, you're welcome. Where are you calling from?
From Oshodi.
You're welcome to the show. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Now, the question you asked is apology enough. I just watched the video with the senator and then the girl.
Fadikemi, please speak up a little louder.
Apology could have been enough.
Okay.
If the guy was willing to accept his wrong and he was truthfully sorry that he did what he did. But it's obvious. I mean, we've watched so many videos online. We've watched a lot of videos on TV. It is obvious that he is not sorry.
Yeah.
And so if his attitude doesn't even show that he feels bad for the action that he did, then sorry is not enough. It's never enough. And then in a relationship like the one I've watched, I received flowers. There's quite a number of women who have lost their lives. Believe that the partner is actually truly sorry for the actions that they take. I mean, when there are frictions between both couples. So if you ask me, sorry is not enough.
Thank you so much
Go
for
beyond that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that contribution. You have really spoken well. Fadikemi
I actually had a question for you, Fadikemi. It's unfortunate that you've gone off the line. So I wanted to ask if someone, because I heard you clearly when you said that, someone could say sorry, but the person is not sorry. I want to know, how do you know someone is really sorry?
She based what she said on the video we
On the
watched.
video. Okay.
That was obvious that the
but
guy
you can
was
call
not
back
sorry.
if you'd like.
You need to watch his body.
Oh, Fadikemi is still alive.
Fadikemi, you're still there.
That's
Fantastic.
good.
Body action.
So
His
how do
eyes,
you know?
the
Fadikemi, how do you
I
know
mean, if
someone is
somebody
sorry? Is it
serious,
from their body language? Is it
someone
from
is
their
yes,
facial
from body
expressions or their
language,
behavior?
From facial expression, from the eyes, you can tell that the person is truly sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
Fadikemi,
But
thank
have there
you
been
for that.
people who have?
Thank you.
Fadikemi, I'm going to help you a little bit there. Now, I think what Fadikemi was trying to say is that, you know, based on the video we watched, that's a scenario in a lot of homes or in a lot of relationships. It may not even be as bad as that, but what she's trying to hammer on or focus on is the attitude of the guy
Or
involved.
the girl.
Or the girl, no, based on the video now.
Yeah,
the attitude of the partner, the abusive partner now. So, because it's been said that a real apology doesn't end at saying sorry.
Okay.
There must be corresponding action, you know, like you rightly said, introspection. Face the man in the mirror. Talk to yourself. Confront yourself. The hardest thing to actually do is to confront yourself, really. Confront yourself and then take responsibility for your action. And then, you know, take steps to change. That's what Fadikemi, I believe Fadikemi is trying to explain that, okay, if you're really sorry, like you said you're sorry, there are certain things I'm supposed to be seeing to really show that you are truly, genuinely sorry from within.
Yeah,
but if you're just
Bkb, I'm just
lip-syncing
trying
it,
to I'm trying to break it because see, when you know one is speaking to a very large audience,
sure,
people receive information in different ways, and you know, for me, it's about the fact that there are also people who have shown remorse. But they are not sorry. I know exactly what I'm saying.
they have shown remorse. No, Praise, you have to explain and describe that remorse.
That was the remorse that she was trying to explain. And I know that she's basing her story based on Senator Abu. And Bkb, please don't feel spoiled.
Hello.
Yes.
You're welcome to the
is
show. What's your
Eva.
name and where are you calling from?
My name is Eva. I'm calling from Jos.
Okay, you're
I
welcome.
didn't get that name.
Evra,
Yes.
calling from Jos.
Yes,
Thank
from
you.
Jos.
You're welcome to the show.
Yes.
Please go ahead with your
Okay.
contribution.
I saw this video that this man is beating this young lady.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. We can hear you.
I saw this video that this man is beating this young lady in this television. I'm not really happy about it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because the man supposed not treat that girl like that.
Yeah.
Understand? So even though she did something wrong to him, he's not supposed to be treating her like that.
So you think the lady should have taken action against him? She should have rejected his apology or...
It doesn't matter. You understand? It doesn't matter. Even though a lady...
Okay. Evra?
Even though the lady offends him, anyhow, it doesn't matter to treat her like that.
So it
You have
was
to
in
be
the
following
wrong.
her, step through the issue. Yes.
Okay.
The man is not treating her like that. Not supposed to do it like that. No good.
So you are saying that the lady should not have accepted his apology or apologies.
Yes. Even though she feels sorry to him, he has to be accept that. He's not good like that to come up back and beating a young lady like that as if you are the father of the girl. It's not good.
Okay, thank you so much, Evra, for your contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
That's Evra from Jos.
Adding a twist to that story is the fact that the wife came out to say, my husband is innocent. You know, despite having a video evidence. So, we know what I was saying is, how do you know someone is actually remorseful?
Yeah, so describe your remorseful.
So you must, so when you say that someone is remorseful, we should know why you think that person is remorseful. What is the evidence that the person is being remorseful? You know, because remorse, you know, not just does not show up in words. Bkb mentioned that earlier,
action.
right? you know, it's about also the content of the apology.
Yeah.
The content of the apology must indicate where they went wrong.
We have another caller on the phone. Sorry to
Great.
Hello, Caroline.
No, not Caroline, Nancy.
Good evening.
You say you're not Caroline, you are what?
Nancy.
Nancy. You're welcome.
You're welcome to
Nancy.
the show.
Nancy.
Okay.
I'm calling from Ikeja.
You're from Ikeja. You're welcome on the show.
Yes.
Please give your contribution, or is it a question?
All right. Sometimes, sorry, it depended on the situation. You can't really judge. Okay, like from the video now, for example, it's obvious that he wasn't sorry.
Can you speak up a little bit louder, please?
I said that sorry sometimes it is dependent on the situation at hand. Like from the video we watched, him saying sorry the first time, she would have probably fell for it. But him doing it again the next day and saying sorry, then she should have seen that, okay, it's probably a threat. And like for people who are in abusive relationships, pick up, talk to people about it. And there are sometimes that, okay, it might not be like physical abuse, it might be emotional abuse. Probably your spouse or your partner screamed at you or probably said something hurtful, and they realize that what they did or what they said was bad. And they, like, you know when someone sincerely apologizes or sincerely feels bad for what they did. So in cases like that, then yes, sorry is enough. And there must be like a change in attitude or change in character. So basically, I think from what I've said, sorry isn't really enough, because you always have to prove that what you've done, you could actually amend for it. So for the video that we watched, and for the senator, I don't even think that guy is a serious person. You don't believe in sorry, you should keep it. And sometimes some sorries are not even necessary, because I don't want to hear your sorry because what you did was bad, and I don't even want to. I say when you know when someone doesn't mean that they are really sorry, and then they tell you sorry, it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds irritating and annoying. So basically, sorry isn't really enough. You always have to do something to counter the bad thing you've done. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for your contribution. Thank you. I like what Nancy said.
I'm excited about Nancy's contribution.
I like what she said. It's about the continuity of the abuse, of the abuse rather. If the person says sorry the first time and you accept it, and then they turn around again to do the same thing and say sorry again, how are you going to continue to accept such sorry without corresponding action? Which is the same thing. I like the case of the senator. He has come to say he's sorry. He's sorry enough, really. The woman landed in the hospital. He's sorry enough for that.
You know the truth. No one is doing you a favor by being in a relationship with you. No one. Though we teach people how we want to be treated. You should be able to come to that place where you're able to say that this is my deal breaker.
Yeah.
I am not, going to cower under societal expectations about certain things when my life is threatened or my mental integrity is threatened. You know, when we say mental integrity, the truth of the matter is we focus on physical abuse because the emotional scars of verbal abuse is unseen.
Yes.
The fact that my scar is invincible does not undermine the intensity of my pain.
Yes.
So for me, is the fact that you should be able to say to yourself that this person is not doing me a favor by being in a relationship with me. And when I do something wrong and I say that I am sorry, it should not just be in the, you see, sorry is not saying the word sorry. Sorry is in real life, and that's what I'm trying to establish. When you are apologizing, your apology must contain the content of what you have done. Don't say I'm sorry. You need to ask, sorry for what? Now you say sorry for hitting you or sorry for insulting you. Why do you think you insulted me? If the response keeps pointing back to what you did as the cause, that person is not sorry. Guess what? That person will do it again.
I'll take that as your last word for tonight.
Really?
That's quite long.
I'm glad.
Honestly. But you really said it. You should not continue to take apologies without corresponding action. That's just it. You cannot continue to take apology without, and I like the twist you put it to you. Sorry for what? What exactly are you apologizing for? You should be able to let the person state it, because some people just have propensity for abuse. No matter what you do, they just have it. And except you deliver yourself from such relationships or such partnerships, you'll be I pray your story won't end like the video we watched. So, and we're saying, and then again, I want to say to those who are abusive, because you know yourselves, you're watching and you're a very abusive person. It could be in words, it could be by physical assault and all that. Abuse is a learned behavior. You can unlearn it. And like Priscilla said earlier, you have to confront yourself. Face the man in the mirror. Be a better person. Come to terms with yourself and know that this is not right. This is not healthy. This is not good. Because if you want to continue to have people around you, then you must learn how to treat people nicely. Otherwise, look at the senator, you know, they must have been correcting him. A lady came out this week to say that he was married to a sister, and it was the same abuse that led to her sister's death. You know, he must have been talked to severally, and he didn't work on himself, and he ended up to the point where he's already a senator, I mean, a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if there's a problem, you need to face it and get help where necessary. And for the abused, please and please and please, take your time to say it is enough. Know when it is enough for you. And don't allow anybody to put you under, or to think you can live their lives without them. You will survive. You will survive. And with this, we're going to wrap up the program for tonight. And hopefully you've learned one or two things from our callers and from also our discussion in-house. And we're going to say, do have a wonderful, wonderful weekend as we wrap the show. Bye.